What's up, world? So, I will be one of the first ones to say that it is very important for us to express ourselves, and one of human needs, one of our basic human needs is to be valued, respected, and to be understood. So I absolutely understand that. They say that it's not what you do sometimes, it's how you do it. And I also agree with that in a lot of ways in certain instances. So I guess what I'm getting at, I said that to say that, everybody want to be heard, and everybody deserve, well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say that everybody deserve to be heard, and if I say that, I would really be lying, because I really don't honestly feel that way. Some people say, they tend to say less, and I'm like, yeah, say a lot less. The world is talking a lot. Like, can we just have certain people that have a certain level of intellect and intelligence to say certain things regarding certain sensitive or important matters? And can some people just really say less, right? But when it comes to the internet and expressing and revealing and sharing certain things, I think that the best of us can really overdo it, or forget to not overshare some things, like really sensitive information and personal information, certain sensitive information, like, for example, like what's going on in your family and what's going on in the household. I feel as though there needs to be a revisiting of etiquette and a revisiting of values and morals, and just certain things that there's unwritten rules where there's certain things that shouldn't be talked about and there's certain things that shouldn't be shared. First and foremost, I'm not going to be talking about my business and my personal life, or my significant other or my exes. I've never been that type. Like, I just, that's not me. And this is not a post to try to expose anybody or to try to judge anybody, but I just wanted to express myself and voice how I feel and what I think that we should revisit as adults in our households, in our immediate family, even if it's with exes and people that we have had children with or whatever. Being mindful that sometimes we become overly emotional and we do this back and forth thing about our personal private lives, and we're oversharing, which is giving people that may be your enemies an upper hand, or giving them one up on you, right? And those aren't things that I'm necessarily worried about or paranoid about or any of those things, but it's just a video as a reminder, when it comes to children and what they're exposing and what they are expressing online. They become overly emotional and they're attacking their parents and so-called exposing their parents, and it's really gotten out of hand. The internet has made it so easy for people to express some of the most sensitive information, some of the most personal information, when it is literally family matters. And they have made it to where on the internet you can be all that you can be, and for people to and to create fake illusions, and for people to put on a false facade and to just keep up these facades, and then also to overshare certain things that are tearing families apart, thinking that going to the internet is going to be like therapy. I mean, for a lot of us it is, don't get me wrong, in certain instances. And I think that that's great. I think that it's creative. I think that it's productive. And I think that it is therapeutic for a lot of people, a lot of reasons, and in a lot of ways. But when a child gets on the internet and they start bashing their parent and start saying certain things that is personal, that's unacceptable. It's things like that. Like, that's absolutely unacceptable. A child shouldn't be going online to expose their parent or to express how they feel, the disdain that they have for their parent, or whatever negative feelings that they have towards their parents. Now, exes or whatever, they have like this nasty breakup and they go online and they go back and forth. Like, none of my exes should ever get online and start talking about me publicly. I've never had that problem, and I shouldn't have that problem, because we have a certain level of understanding. We have a certain level of respect, as should a lot of people. But as again, I'm not trying to judge people or bash them, but I will call it how I see it. And I feel like it's very emotional, over emotional. That's where emotional intelligence come in at, and it's very immature, because we have to remember that we have children watching now. This goes all across the board for every community or whatever. But when it comes to black folks, I mostly talk about black folks because I'm a proud black woman, and I feel like maybe we can't save every single person, but I feel like we are headed in the right direction. I feel like we came a long way, and I'm so proud to say that as a black woman, I'm very proud of that. So in this ascend that we're doing, and this incline that we're doing, and as we're evolving and we're leveling up, there is a revisit that needs to happen. And there is there's certain things that need to be revisited, such as oversharing and the sensitive going back and forth, and the nasty breakups and the nasty separations of certain people. As grown folks, even though we have separated from our ex-significant others, it should never get to the ugliest of the ugliest ways, where we are going back and forth negatively and tit for tat, fighting fire with fire, and exposing each other and some of our darkest secrets, and what we wouldn't expose to everybody, because we're in this nasty battle. It's not a good look for black people, especially when we're talking about we're doing this ascend, and as we're evolving and we're becoming better as a people. And nobody's perfect. I make these vlogs or these videos and these posts just really wanted to voice my opinion, and also wanted to share awareness and to share positivity, and sometimes calling out and pointing out challenges and issues that may be able to be rectified, because sometimes, and we're all guilty of it, we're human, it's a part of the human experience, and our humanness, we become lost in our emotions, becoming over emotional, and then we get in these ways where we go back and forth emotionally in our negative emotions, and start to expose somebody that we're supposed to love, or somebody that we once loved, right? And it really just isn't a good look. It's not, because there's a lot of people watching us, and when it comes to high profile individuals or even celebrities, they have millions upon millions of people watching them, and these young folks, of course, are watching them too, and they're just like, oh, well, that's how it goes. Somebody get mad at somebody, and it's just like this bitter back and forth, and it's really not a good look. And I know that we are a very intelligent people, we're very talented, so it's like we got to show up and show out in that way, right? And then really be open to criticism. I know that could be hard for some of us, for the best of us, and just kind of slowing down, pumping our brakes, and breathing, and trying to figure out where we can rectify certain things, and where we can come out on top, where we can be better at, and like that saying, people say, oh, say less. Yeah, say less about your personal business. Say less about how the way that you talk to your children, and some of us that have some of the ugliest ways, talking bad to the children like they didn't come out your body. Say less about the negativity and the gossip, and just all of the toxicity, the toxic ways, and really talking about a lot of stuff that really don't matter. Like, if we're going to get on the internet and we're going to share stuff, like, can we share resources? Can we share ways that we all can come together stronger, and to continue to evolve our communities, Because, just hopping online to express and dump our emotions and our feelings is, once again, we're human. But sometimes you need somebody to just be like, hold on, you need to pump your brakes, because you don't want to do nothing that you're going to later regret, especially when you're talking about people that you've had damn near longevity with, and has spent a lot of time with, and somebody that you once loved. It's just not a good look. It really isn't. So That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to put a bug in somebody's ear. You know, we can always do better. All of us, even myself included. So, happy Friday.